for the only pawn show in Las Vegas radio. Coming to you live from the KDWN studios on South Durango. Pawn Talk Live. Hosted by the voice of the Las Vegas Wranglers, Dave Carney. And the owner of the world-famous Max Pawn in Las Vegas, Michael Mack. Call in at 257-5396. That's 257-5396. And find out what your valuables are worth from the top expert in the pawn industry. Now, Michael Mack and Dave Carney.
And welcome to Pawn Talk Live here on News Talk 720 KDWN. I am Dave Carney, sitting alongside the owner of the world-famous Max Pawn here in Las Vegas, Michael Mack. And thanks so much for staying with us here after a really fun, engaging, and fast-paced live Las Vegas. And again, love you to get on Facebook with us at Live in Las Vegas. Already over 1,000 fans on there. Let's get some more at Live in Las Vegas. Follow me on Twitter at DapperDaveC. Follow Michael and Max Pawn at Max Pawn. Very easy stuff. Michael, great to see you. It's a gloomier than normal Friday here in the Valley, but it doesn't stop us from having a ton of fun on Pawn Talk Live, taking calls.
Well, you guys had a great show live in Las Vegas, and we got Michael Schulman joining us, and let's have some fun. Let's get some callers, and I think everyone's going to be a winner to calls today, our hotline.
Yeah, we've got the Subway Fresh Take hotline open at 257-5396. That's 257-KDWN. Now, everybody that calls us, like Michael mentioned today, is going to win something. We have got a whole bunch of prizes courtesy of Beasley Broadcasting. CD packages, DVD packages. We've also got a whole bunch of stuff from the world-famous Max Pawn. We've got Power Balance bracelets. We have got even one big gift to give away at the end.
Well, Dave, you know what we've created, and Maria down at Max Pawn this week ordered a treasure chest for us now to give away for Live in Las Vegas and for Pawn Talk Live. So you'll go down, you'll be able to choose the gift of your choice, and it'll be a multiple gifts. We added some pocket knives today. We added some unique items. So, it'll be a lot of fun, and we want to make this show and Live in Las Vegas where everyone's a winner.
All right, well, I tell you what, and we're gonna give a note here. We're going to queue up our first prize wheel. Angie, our board up. We're going to have our first prize wheel queued up, and I'll go ahead and I'll be doing that here in just a second. So, again, the number, 257-5396, 257-KDWN. No pawn question is too big. No pawn question is too small, like we like to always say, Michael. But for folks that are listening to us, perhaps, Michael, for the very first time, have never caught this program here on KDWN, tell us a little bit about pawn and what we like to call Pawn 101.
Well, a lot of people don't know what the word pawn means. And, for many people, they think it's a place where you go and you dispose of or you get rid of a piece of jewelry or a musical instrument, but pawn is actually a loan. And in the state of Nevada, a pawn is good for 90 days. And what you do is if you have a piece of collateral, you have a piece of jewelry, you have a watch, you have a iPhone, wherever it may be, whatever of value, we have some of the best pawn shops in the United States sitting right here in Las Vegas with Cash America, Super Pawn, and Easy Pawn, and Gold and Silver, and Metro Pawn, and, of course, Max Pawn. But we do have great stores, and you can get a loan. So you have a loan, and you pay interest. The state of Nevada has an interest rate and a service fee. So if you borrowed $100, you would return with $113, and you'd return with that, and you'd get your item back. And 90% of the customers at Max Pawn retrieve their items, and that's great.
That's fantastic.
So that's what we want. We want to help people, for those that aren't bankable, and in everyday needs.
All right, Michael. And so, again, talk to me like I'm a little kid. I hear the pawn thing, and it still sounds like I'm selling something. But tell me why that's different than a straight sale to a pawn store.
Well, a pawn is different because you're getting a loan against it, and you have the right to get it back within the 90-day period. At the end of the 90 days, many pawn shops give a grace period. Max Pawn, we give a 30-day grace period. At the end of the 121st day, we sell your item if you don't pay it or pay the interest on it. If you were to sell it outright, so you can sell it and you get a little bit more money. So if you get a pawn, you get a percentage value of what it's worth. If you sell it, you get a little bit more. And then the third option at Max Pawn, we offer consignment. So that's the third option, and a lot of people choose that because that's where you can hold out and get a little bit more money.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we've mentioned this before numbers of times on this show and then on our previous broadcast. Consignment for a big ticket item, something that may be in Michael rarefied air, okay, artwork, certain kinds of instruments, or things that are just going to be harder to move. Going the way of the Max Pawn consignment route might be the best bet.
Well, we had a person that brought down a Harley Davidson, something that I wouldn't put the money out and have on my showroom floor, but something that looks great on our showroom floor.
Absolutely.
And we get so much traffic, and if we can get that price for our consignee and for the buyer, it's a win-win for both parties.
Absolutely. All right. Well, now that everybody listening has gotten the gist of what pawn is and our little take of Pawn 101, the phone lines are absolutely open here on the Subway Fresh Take Hotline. Everybody that calls today, and I mean everybody that calls us today, is a winner. We've got a new Max Pawn treasure chest. Great stuff down there from the gals Maria and Deanna. 257-5396, the number, 257 KDWN, how to reach us here in studio. Now, Michael, you mentioned that you brought along a special in-studio guest with you here today, somebody that is no stranger to the world of entertainment, fashion, and just about everything that goes along with that. Michael Schulman from SchulmanSays.com. Michael, good to have you back with us today. Are you excited about the 86th Annual Academy Awards, my friend?
I am.
And tell me why. Tell me why. Why is this such a great spectacle in American entertainment?
It's one of the most viewed occurrences on television in the world. And this year, based on a change in policy with the Oscars a couple of years ago, there are actually, I believe, 9 films in the running for Best Picture this year.
Yes, there is.
And they're all pretty amazing. They run the gamut from historical pictures like 12 Years a Slave to beautifully shot sci-fi reality-ish like Gravity, where you have one actress on the screen for virtually the entire span of the film, but amazing camera work and directing. And, of course, my favorite part, which is the red carpet.
Ah, yes.
And
people watching at its finest.
Yes, and the color commentary that goes with it.
What do we expect? What do we expect to see on the red carpet this year?
Oh, the travails and travels of many. I am looking for big things from Lupita Nyong'o, who is up for Best Supporting Actress in 12 Years a Slave. She has been, hands down, the brightest star on the red carpet all year. Sandra Bullock always brings it, although wasn't that thrilled with her Prubal Garang at the Golden Globes, but she always looks wonderful. People like Julia Roberts, Sharon Stone, that mix vintage and current and do it beautifully well. You're starting to see a lot more men in three-piece designer numbers. Matthew McConaughey, Jared Leto, both of whom are nominated as well.
And Matthew McConaughey's three-piece, just a little spoiler, is going to be a pair of swimming trunks, sandals, and a baseball cap. That is no shirt, obviously.
Actually, he was in a three-piece velvet Dolce & Gabbana at the SAG Awards.
Velvet? You know, you don't see velvet broken out often.
Well, you need to get into my closet.
Oh, man. All right, listen. That sound right there tells me we got to step away real quick here and take our first look at traffic. When we come back, much more here on Pawn Talk Live, more about the 86th Oscars coming up this Sunday from Los Angeles, as well as your phone calls. We've got Kevin on the line. Stay tuned with us here to Pawn Talk Live.
And at 2:15 in the KDWN Nevada Credit Union Traffic Center, we do have a couple of new incidents on area freeways, 95 southbound, the Decatur off-ramp. Also, the westbound airport connector at the Sunset off-ramp. Both of those are in the early phase. Durango at the 215. Summerlin, as you go southbound 215, it's on the ramp there. Washington, east of the 15, that one's new. On the surface streets, Alta at Wallapai, good part of town. Flamingo at Paradise, and Rainbow at Russell. For the KDWN Nevada Credit Union Traffic Center, I'm Jim Dallas on News Talk 720 KDWN.
When it's go time, when it's time to put the pedal to the metal, NASCAR drivers and Baja 1000 drivers alike both trust the legendary performance and reliability of Goodyear tires. And now Vegas drivers can get that same performance and reliability on their own cars and trucks, because Ted Weens now carries the full line of world-class Goodyear tires. Goodyear Eagle tires, Goodyear Wrangler tires, all mounted by real ASE certified mechanics for when it's your go time, because Ted Weens really does care. The slightly obsessive ASE certified mechanics at Ted Weens are now carefully mounting Goodyear Eagle tires on deserving cars and Goodyear Wrangler tires on some lucky trucks. In fact, Ted Weens, that place you see all over town, now carries the full line of world-class Goodyear car and truck tires. So if you live in Las Vegas and you want the quality and performance Goodyear tires are famous for, well, now you know where to go find them. Ted Weens, because we really do care.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy of the Phil's Gang Show. I'm back. That's right, back on Las Vegas. Be sure to catch the Phil's Gang Show weekdays 12 noon to 1 p.m. right here on 720 KDWN. The Phil's Gang Show, 12 noon to 1 p.m. on Las Vegas, 720 KDWN.
Hey, Las Vegas, it's Al B. Shore and the voice of the Las Vegas Wranglers, Dave Carney. Join us for the best that Las Vegas has to offer: entertainment, sports, dining, and nightlife, live in Las Vegas. Tune in every Friday from 1 to 2 p.m. on News Talk 720 KDWN.
Now back to Pawn Talk Live with your hosts Michael Mack and Dave Carney.
And welcome back to Pawn Talk Live here on News Talk 720 KDWN. I am Dave Carney, joined by the owner of the world-famous Max Pawn, Michael Mack, and, of course, Michael Schulman, our resident fashion entertainment expert from SchulmanSays.com here with us.
Get into it.
Yes, get into it and go visit the website too. Great stuff there. If you're in for, all the celebrity TMZ type stuff, you got to see SchulmanSays.com. It puts an awesome new spin on it. Michael?
Speaking of being at the major events, I want to hear a little bit about this Simon Says event. I know you were there. I couldn't make it last night, but it had to be a spectacular event.
Carrie Simon is perhaps one of the most beloved and kind people in the world of celebrity chefs. He's also very good looking and just a very sweet individual. I think Doug Elfman at the Review Journal yesterday said something like, when you hear the name Carrie Simon, you just want to smile. And that's very true. Last night's event, which was produced by Elizabeth Blau, who's Carrie's business partner, was down at the Lou Ruva Center for Brain Health and featured Bill Murray, who had flown in to be the MC, who goes back with Carrie some 30-something years, and chefs John George von Richten and Danielle Boulud and Charlie Palmer, and musicians like Slash and Vince Neil and Alice Cooper, and it was off the proverbial chain. And it was so nice to see all of these people giving their time. It was at capacity. There was a line out the door. It was wall-to-wall people that were coming and showing their support for a person who has become very synonymous with the city that he's adopted as his hometown.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? I love hearing about the kinds of celebrities that Vegas can draw, because when we put on these kinds of events and really try to gain awareness and different things, it will really draw out the biggest and best, because it is Las Vegas. And speaking about drawing out the biggest and best here, guys, I've got to take our first caller on our Subway Fresh Take hotline, Kevin, because Kevin looks like he dug something up in his yard. Now, Kevin, are you calling us from Northern California? Did you find $10 million worth of gold in your backyard?
I wish, and it was actually the front yard.
Okay, in the front yard. Well, tell us about it. I can't see the full line here on my call screen, but you dug up something maybe with George Washington.
Yeah, my wife was digging in the front yard and dug up a George Washington coin that's dated 1739.
Wow.
And, yeah.
Is
so
it-
we're
it-
just wondering.
I'm not big on numismatics.
Yeah, so let me ask you this. Have you taken it to a local coin shop at all yet?
Not a coin shop, but she went to a pawn shop on Boulder Highway, and
Well-
they told her like $5. or
Oh,
something,
yeah,
but-
be careful with that.
Well, you know what you can do is, why don't you bring it down, and we will in-house do research for you at Max Pawn.
Okay.
It sounds like quite a coin, and we have quite a assortment of experts that we can call upon as well. But it could be something that could be worth quite a bit of money, and or it could be a commemorative coin that may not be as worth as much. So it could go either way. But have you ever been down to Max Pawn?
No, that's where you located at.
We're on the northeast corner of Sahara and Jones, 6040 West Sahara, and we're open every day. And just ask for me. I'm Michael Mack.
Yeah, Kevin, if you've driven around Vegas for any length of time, you remember where the Madman Army Supply Store is over there on the hard corner. That is where the now world-famous Max Pawn is residing from, what used to be the Madman Army Supply Store. And let me tell you, Kevin, first of all, thanks for the call, and we want to hear more stories like this at 257-5396. When you look at something, as historical as a George Washington coin, and you hear the stories, Kevin, of what happened to that family in Northern California, does it make your heart race a little bit more? Does it start the engines turning a bit? Yeah, I think it does.
The lady we bought our house from used to hoard antiques and stuff, and she hid a bunch around here. So.
Oh, that's fun.
Wow.
Oh, that explains the wife digging in the front yard.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I was going to say, I've got some gutters that need cleaning.
Oh, you better be careful. They'd have green spun media all over that. They'd send them out with, with the little metal detectors. Well, Kevin, it sounds like an incredible find. And I mean, especially with, what we've heard in the news this week of just rare coins popping out of the earth. This is obviously something that fascinates us a great deal here on the show.
And what a great thing that, that happened in Northern California to this family. Now, when I first heard the story, Dave, I have to tell you, and Michael, I was thinking it was in the city's public right-of-way, and then, of course, the city was going to claim, part of this.
Wait, what happened? I missed the story.
Well, there was a person that dug up $10 million worth of gold in their front yard this week.
Well, and to be more specific here, Michael, and if you haven't heard this story, it's really, really fascinating. A Northern California family, a little area outside of Stockton, California, or Sacramento. I think it might be in Stockton. I don't know if we're supposed to say, but it's a little area outside of Sacramento, California, and these folks have chosen to remain anonymous. They're walking, it's
yeah,
I would too. They're walking, family, around. I think it was 3 or 4 of them, on their property. It had been a family property for many years, and they dig up 2 coffee cans or metal cans. I can't say they're coffee cans, but 2 originally kind of canned cans. Inside of them are uncirculated gold coins from the American Mint, dated 1847 to 1892. That's it. I mean, it fits perfectly with the California gold rush at the time. I mean, up in that area, obviously, gold was just about everywhere and was the thing. So they find these mint condition coins. Now, interestingly enough, Michael, talking to a friend of ours in the coin business here this week over at Sahara Coin, which is on Sahara and Tenaya, he had mentioned that the finding of these coins could actually destroy part of the coin market because, when you're looking
you're flooding the market with the product.
And now it reintroduces all these coins, which were previously thought to be either, completely out of circulation, melted down, whatever. And so when you look at the pricing of some of the rare coins in that area, he thought, oh God, this is, we better get rid of these coins while we can because this is really going to change the market. So, fascinating stuff there. And Kevin, I'm not sure if you've gotten yourself one of those, but if you did, buddy, wow, that is fantastic. Now, we want to hear more stories like this from anybody in the Valley, or maybe you're listening to us online at KDWN.com. All you have to do is pick up the phone and give us a buzz at 702-257 5396. Now, Michael, you and Michael were talking more about the Academy Awards here, and I know that you're, obviously going to be attending a private Academy Awards party out here. Michael Mack, let me start with you, and then Michael Shulman, what is your favorite part about the Academy Awards, Michael?
Well, being in the jewelry and luxury business, I'm always looking at the red carpet, and so I like to watch the pre-awards, so whether it's on E or but to see what people are wearing, colors. Of course, I am not a guy that grew up in the fashion world, so I'm trying to get in tune quick, and that's why it's great to have Michael with us today and with us in our store to help us. But the fashions, the designs. Some of the era jewelry that's mixed in with new era jewelry. It's just fantastic, and it helps me, cure my palate as well.
Well, and it's a wonderful time to see the companies like Fred Leighton and Diamond Mark and Kwiat and Lorraine Schwartz that are all huge during this season and have really good outreach programs with the different celebrities for, lending the jewelry. Well, perhaps the best story that I can recall from the red carpet, and I was speaking to her about this recently at Keep Memory Alive last year, was Shakira Kane, Michael Caine's wife. And he had been nominated for something, and Joan Rivers was doing the red carpet, and she's like, I love your necklace. Whose is it? And she looks right at Joan Rivers and goes, it's mine. It was an anniversary present for my husband, and I gagged. I was like, great. Good for you. And bringing movie star realness from back when people actually owned their own jewelry. And because 95% of what you see on the red carpet is going right back to the showroom the following day. And that's something that people are starting to realize. But sometimes people, one Best Actress in particular, was paid more than $500,000 to wear a pair of diamond studs, and then would not even go to that company's after party afterwards. And I think that's pretty foul. It's really, you just got $600,000 for wearing earrings, and you can't go and take a picture and wave. Like,
What was it part of the contract?
no, well, that was the thing. You didn't put it in the contract, so I don't have to go.
Hey, listen, welcome to America. I guess, put it in the contract. You want me to show up? I'm busy. I mean, it's the Academy Awards. Yeah, I got $500,000. I got to go spend it now.
Well, this was to one of the two biggest parties of the night also that you'd think she would want to go to.
You would think so, in
But
industry types as
who
they
can
are.
say? Holly weird. But also, it's a good time to look at trends, and the clutch is always a big thing on the red carpet. You're going to see a lot of shoes by Brian Atwood on a lot of these ladies.
Let me ask you a question real quick here, because you're talking shoes and you're talking about the ones that you're going to see. Have you seen, Michael, because you've bought a lot of stuff from the world-famous Maxbon, have you ever seen anything that matches or at least resembles something that you see like the shoes that folks wear on the red carpets?
Oh, absolutely. Michael has a huge selection of Louboutin shoes that are definitely occasion shoes with incredibly high heels. One that I bought, not with high heels.
I'd love to see
but
in those.
Got the red soles.
There you go.
And a lot of clutches and formal evening bags. And as a matter of fact, I bought one friend a crocodile Judith Lieber. He has a gorgeous Alexander McQueen Pot de Soie clutch with a beaded skull right now. A few Judith Lieber Minaudiers off the top of my head, just from being there. Of course, his stock changes daily.
Well, Michael, I know, it's the season and clutches are big. Tell me what your thoughts are for clutches this season.
It's very interesting. The clutch originally came about when women's handbags were being reduced and they didn't want to carry them on their shoulder and in their hand. And typically they were only to hold your driver's license, a lipstick, a comb, and a mirror. And usually the mirror was built
And a contraceptive. Don't forget that as well.
That was the man's responsibility.
Okay, I see.
As things have gotten bigger, cell phones, multiple keys on a keychain, so on and so forth. Not unlike Las Vegas, every place in the world does not have valet parking. It's one of the finer points of our good city.
That's right.
The bags have become bigger and less envelopey. VBH owns the market on the envelope clutch. I purchased a wonderful Gucci clutch circa the Tom Ford years for a friend of mine who was having a movie premiere in Hollywood a couple weeks ago, and she absolutely lit up for it. And his selection of evening bags and handbags is incredible.
Let me ask you, Michael Mack here. Obviously we're on with Michael Shulman, ShulmanSays.com here on Pawn Talk Live. And Michael Mack, your store, as Shulman had alluded to, has seen its share of things that would be maybe, worthy of the red carpet. But let me ask you, have you ever taken in stuff that has been involved in a movie, an Academy Award premiere, anything like that?
Well, as you've mentioned, as I mentioned prior, we have a pair of shoes that were worn by the world famous,
Frank
Sinatra. No
Sinatra.
one better than
Yes.
Frank Sinatra.
Yes,
so
that's
we
true.
have those shoes.
Those boots were made for walking, by the way.
But we have had some great Academy Award winning jewelry that's been displayed at our store and even pawned with us.
Excellent. All right, well, we're going to take another look here at traffic on Pawn Talk Live. When we come back, Michael and I are busting open the phone lines. We want to hear more great stories from you. Stay tuned with us to News Talk 720 KDWN.
Need the news now? Then lock into News Talk 720 KDWN. AP News at the top and bottom of every hour throughout the day. News Talk 720 KDWN, where locals come to talk. The KDWN One Nevada Credit Union Traffic Center will get you around the jam fast. Traffic 4 times an hour, only on News Talk 720 KDWN, where locals come to talk.
AP Update. I'm Ed Donahue.
We are now deeply concerned by reports of military movements taken by the Russian Federation inside of Ukraine.
President Obama says any violation of Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity would be destabilizing. A spokesman for the Ukrainian Border Service said 8 Russian transport planes have landed in Crimea with unknown cargo. President Obama made a statement from the White House today.
And just days after the world came to Russia for the Olympic Games, it would invite the condemnation of nations around the world. And indeed, the United States will stand with the international community in affirming that there will be costs for any military intervention in Ukraine.
Obama says this would violate Russia's commitment to respect Ukraine's borders. Ukraine's UN ambassador said he told the UN Security Council Russian military helicopters and transport planes were entering his country, and Russian armed forces seized Crimea's main airport. AP Update. I'm Ed Donahue.
The news brought to you by Subway. Hurry into Subway and enjoy February's featured values, like the meatball marinara as the featured $5 footlong, topped with melty mozzarella, and the oven-roasted chicken as the $3 6-inch select. February's featured values. Get them while you can. Subway. Eat fresh.
232, the Kid on Nevada Credit Union Traffic Center. Several problems on the 95 working right now. NHP's on the scene. North 95, that's the Sunset on-ramp. South 95, the Decatur off-ramp, both in the early stages. Westbound Airport Connector, that's at Sunset. Also Durango at the 215. Westbound Summerlin as you go southbound Interstate 215. Spring Mountain at Las Vegas Boulevard, that's in the cleanup phase. Also crashes Alta at Wallapai, Flamingo at Paradise, and Rainbow at Russell. For the Kid on Nevada Credit Union Traffic Center, I'm Jim Dallas on News Talk 720 KDWN.
Lake Levada, host of the Real Estate Zone, broker-owner for First Prime Realty Group. Listen in every Saturday from 7 to 8 a.m. while he answers all of your real estate questions. That's every Saturday morning from 7 to 8 a.m. on 720 KDWN.
Hi, this is Ken Thompson from SportsX Radio, inviting you to join me each and every night, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m., right here, 50,000 watt AM 720 KDWN, for the greatest in sports talk, breaking down all the games. SportsX Radio, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m., sponsored by Canna Racing Sportsbooks.
You hear a lot of talk about gold these days. What, with the stock market and more upheaval than tumbleweeds in a tornado? The world-famous Max Pawn is your gold spot in Las Vegas. Don't just send your gold into some random TV guy for pennies on the dollars. Go where you can see what your gold is really worth and get guaranteed market rate for your gold, silver, diamonds, and more. Come visit the world-famous Max Pawn in Las Vegas at the northeast corner of Sahara and Jones or online at maxpawnlv.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This could cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us if you want Viagra at the lowest price. Never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-390-9323 today to save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 800-390-9323. Call 800-390-9323. That's 800-390-9323. Again, 800-390-9323.
Now back to Pawn Talk Live with your hosts Michael Mack and Dave Carney.
And welcome back to Pawn Talk Live here on News Talk 720 KDWN. Dave Carney joined by the owner of the world-famous Max Pawn here in Las Vegas, Michael Mack. Now, you can always follow Michael and myself online at Pawn Talk Live on Facebook, at Max Pawn on Twitter, and at Dapper Dave C. Great follows all the way around. Now, Michael, on the other side of this break, we were talking with Michael Schulman from SchulmanSays.com. Michael is not with us anymore, but, breaking down the 86th Academy Awards and some of the fun fashion that goes behind that. And right now, I'd like to offer anybody out here in Las Vegas that has a fashion question or maybe wants to find out what their purse is worth, their old shoes, a piece of jewelry, to give us a call on our Subway Fresh Take hotline, 257-5396. Michael, you're not only a certified gemologist, you've been in the business, over 30 years. You're a fourth-generation pawnbroker, so you really have the right kind of knowledge to help somebody in need find out what they should do with their item. You're not going to offer $5 for a $3 million coin. You're going to try to do the right thing in all cases. So for the folks that are listening to us here on KDWN that have a question, anything, really, when it comes to buy and sell, give Michael a call, 257-5396.
And prizes galore.
That's right. We've got tons of prizes. And you know what, Angie? Let's do that. Let's spin the Max Pawn prize wheel.
And now it's time to get lucky with the Max Pawn prize wheel.
All right, I'm Dave Woolery, and the Max Pawn Prize Wheel is going to give you an absolutely free prize from the Max Pawn Treasure Chest. All you have to do is go down to the store 6040 once you call us at 257-5396.
Let's give our next caller a Subway lunch at a Subway.
Wow, does that mean that Ashley Gold from True TV's Hardcore Pawn gets to win that Subway card?
Well, if she calls in, I might have to throw it her way.
Well, we have to have online with us right now Ashley Gold from True TV's Hardcore Pawn. Ashley, great to hear from you. How are you today?
Hi, guys. How are you? Thank you for having me on.
Well, we're fantastic.
How cold is it back there right now?
It is freezing. Michael left in just the right amount of time.
Well, I was there. We had one day it was 8 below, so I got my taste of it. But you guys have just got pounded back there, and we're in somber weather right now. We're seeing some rain here in Las Vegas, but still in the 60s, and it's supposed to clear.
I feel so bad for you guys.
But it's been tough. And let me ask you, Ashley, your pawn customers back at American Pawn. I was fortunate to spend the day and be at your event, Thaw, which was just a fabulous event.
Yeah, it was great.
Do you feel that this has really put a hurt on them, having that extra few days or many days of cold back there?
We did whatever we could for that event. We had the Hardcore Thaw event, which is we raised money for the Heat and Warm Fund. A lot of our customers, they don't have enough money to supply, heat in their homes. So we raised money and did what we could to support the city of Detroit and our neighboring cities.
So do you think, day to day in, day out, I know you're not in the store every day, but when you're in the store, do you see your customers that have been really affected by this, horrible length of time of weather that you guys have had?
Of course. People are pawning things every day. They're pawning jewelry. They're pawning their coats. They're pawning whatever they can to stay warm.
Well, I'll tell you what. You guys are a wonderful family. The event you guys held for Thaw was just well attended, and I was happy to be part of it. And, to work your pawn counter, I got a thrill to work on your pawn counter and go out on the sales floor. And I don't know what kind of grade I got, but, less...
You were our number one sales guy. You were hustling. You were making huge sales. You were amazing. You were great. You were even getting our auction. You were amazing.
Well, I enjoyed it. I really did. Being in the pawn business, it's fun to go and, be in other pawn shops. But to be able to work at a place that's world famous, it's on TV... And, I sold 2 fur coats and 1 fur hat in one day. I've never done that.
All
in
right,
Las
but
Vegas.
to be honest, Joe Namath comes into the store. He's given a one-shot deal. Ashley, let me ask you here, too, because you obviously... are now in a bit of a different position. The success of the show, True TV's Hardcore Pawn, which airs every Tuesday night right here at True TV's 9 o'clock is the time in Vegas as well. You've changed the dynamic a little bit. You're not the standard pawnbroker anymore. But when you see Michael, who here in Vegas is kind of like that too. He's all over town, having the radio show. Do you think it's fun for a guy like Mike to come back and just be an employee for a day?
We work as an employee, as an employer, and you got to do what you got to do in the business world nowadays. Whether you're on TV, not on TV, have a radio show, not have a radio show, you do what you have to do. You have a store. People ask me all day long, oh, my God, we didn't expect you to be here at work. This is my job. Whether the cameras are here or the cameras are not here, this is what I do.
And, and that's the big difference, Ashley. We have our friends here in Las Vegas that have a very popular radio or TV show, too. And the word on the street is that, they're not in their store and they're not shaking hands. But I can tell you firsthand, you guys are in your store every day working and bringing sales and doing loans and helping people just like any other employee. And really, they don't put themselves on any pedestal, Dave. They really are very sincere, and their customers love them back there.
Well,
if it wasn't for our customers, we wouldn't be where we are with our show or with our store. So we thank everybody that's come in our store, and we thank everybody that's watched our show.
Well, talking to your dad last week, Ashley, it's always interesting talking to the patriarch of the family. And Les is such a huge figure in the world of pawn. And he, again, reminded us that when he had brought this idea of the show to you and your brother, Seth, right. You guys weren't really hip on this. Now that we're in over 8 seasons and the success that has really grown, giving you guys the opportunity to really, capitalize the events like Thaw Detroit, are you super glad that your dad did what he did?
You know, when the show first came about, Seth and I were really hesitant. We didn't want to, show the world, take them behind backstage of who we really are. But, we didn't want them to we didn't want them to actually see, we didn't want people to see our life, and broadcast it to the world. But now, after we've shown 150 episodes and hopefully 150 more, we're really proud of what we've done. We've shined a new light on the industry. People are actually so proud and so happy to come into the pawn shop because they can get the most unbelievable deals. And, we're so proud to actually have been part of Thaw. This weekend I'm actually doing something with Habitat for Humanity, people that build houses. So we're really involved with charitable work. And so if we can broadcast that around the world, by all means, keep filming, keep showing our faces.
Ashley, I know you guys just got back from our side of the coast, the West Coast. Tell our listeners about some of the exciting things you guys did in Los Angeles.
Yeah, we were just in L.A. We were on the Arsenio Hall show. We were on Extra. We were on Home and Family. We did some radio shows out there. I'm actually flying out to Texas in about 10 days to go to South by Southwest. I don't know if you guys didn't see out there.
God, that's a great concert to see.
Texas,
yeah,
right?
it's so fun.
You're going to have a blast.
Yeah, so I'm really excited to go down south and got really exciting things coming along in our future.
What was the highlight of your L.A. excursion?
Arsenio Hall was really cool. It was our first late night show, and we can't wait to be part of more.
Well, I'm sure Jimmy Fallon's has you booked sometime soon.
Oh, yeah. Well, except
we'll
for...
keep you guys posted.
Hey, come on. Jimmy Fallon would be lucky to have you guys on there. And, see, here's one of the things, and I'll throw this out there. I don't get the Jimmy Fallon thing. People think he's hilarious. Not my bag. So I'm kind of like,
I love him.
anything that you guys can do to help Jimmy Fallon seem interesting to me, I'm all for it. If you guys can go on the show, I'll watch it. Let me ask you, Ashley, because I asked your dad the same thing last week, and I've asked Seth this before, but I want an honest answer, okay? Here you guys are. You're starting to get famous, okay? Let's just cut to the quick. You're famous now. It's not just a pawn thing anymore. You're a celebrity. Now, if you got the opportunity to say do something different, to branch off, to maybe do something in the entertainment industry by itself, would you consider that at some point?
To have my own talk show?
Yeah, talk show, whatever that might be. If somebody said we would like you to be in a movie, a TV show, something like that, are those things that now you'd be willing to consider where maybe 8 years ago or 8 seasons ago you would have thought, no way?
Yeah, I actually would love to do that. I would love to have people hear, my voice on another level other than the pawn world. I would love to do that.
All right, fantastic. For all of our producer friends that are listening to KDWN, you've got a bona fide superstar here. This is Ashley Gold from True TV's Hardcore Pawn, and 3.5 million people a week, Michael. Can't be wrong.
And sitting here is Dave and Michael, your new
That's
agents.
right. That's right. Exactly. We broker the deals. You go ahead and knock them out. Michael, you'd probably be a perfect guy for that. And
I am
Ashley,
a broker, but a pawnbroker.
I was going to say, Ashley, you and Michael here, both being, generational pawnbrokers. Ashley, first for you, what impresses you most about a guy like Michael? And then, Michael, the same thing with you and Ashley.
When Michael was here, I said something. There was something going on in social media. And I threw it to Michael, and he just gave me, just immediately he said something to me. And I was like, God, why didn't I think of that? I always think I'm so quick with social media. And him being older than me, not that you're so much older than me, Michael.
I am.
But, and I was like,
well, good dig there, Ashley.
Think of that, and I was like kicking myself in the butt. I'm like, I should have thought of that. Michael, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Well, you know what? But you know what? You did astonish me when I was back there because you did have your biggest Facebook post in the history of Ashley. And tell the listeners about that because that was awesome.
Yeah, I actually posted something on my Facebook, and I had I had probably I think it was 60 million. I had a lot.
It went to China for sure.
Wow, 60 million.
Yeah, I had a lot of likes, and I had a lot of followers, and I had a lot of discussions going on.
Well,
so,
the most impressive thing that I think about when I think of you, Ashley, is just what a kind person and what a family person you are. Most people don't see that on TV, and how loving you are, and your husband and your family, how sweet you are to each other, and really that goes a long ways. And I think in life, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, Ashley, and I know you probably can't hear it on the other side. We've got to let you go. We got to take our last look at traffic here on Pawn Talk Live. But don't forget, new episodes of True TV's Hardcore Pawn air every Tuesday night, 9 o'clock, right here in Las Vegas. You can get it on all the cable providers. Ashley, thanks for joining us.
Stay warm.
Thank you. We actually changed to 10 o'clock here in Detroit. So I don't know if it's changed by you guys.
No, that's Central Time. You guys are just, you're all messed up. I'm sorry. All right. 9 o'clock here in Las Vegas.
Bye-bye. Stay warm, Ashley.
All right, we'll be back here on Pawn Talk Live.
A lot of wet pavement accidents from the KDWN Nevada Credit Union Traffic Center. US 95, the trouble spot. Northbound, that's the Sunset on-ramp. Southbound 95 as you go Interstate 15 southbound, the ramp there. 95 south at Decatur. Another crash 15 north south of Charleston in the resort corridor. Incidents Rainbow at the 215. Westbound Summerlin, that's east of Rampart, a good part of town. Westbound Washington, that's east of the 15. And Spring Mountain at Las Vegas Boulevard. For the KDWN Nevada Credit Union Traffic Center, I'm Jim Dallas on News Talk 720 KDWN.
When your battery's dead, it's a bummer. But you know that. What you may not know is that your battery may not really be kaput. It may just need a little maintenance or a charge. So get a jump and swing into Ted Weens. If you need a new battery, we'll pop one in. And if you just need a little extra juice, we'll give you some of that. Because Ted Weens does way more than just tires. Our team of slightly obsessive ASE certified mechanics can fix anything. Because yes, we do care. That check engine light on your dash is annoying, and yeah, your car is probably running the same as it was before that thing started blinking. But here's the deal. You can't pass a smog check, and you may damage your car if you don't get rid of that light. So pop into your nearby Ted Weens. We'll quickly, easily tell you what's wrong, fix it affordably, and even do that inspection when you're ready. All under the watchful eye of our slightly obsessive ASE certified mechanics. Because yeah, we do care.
We now know that Nevada's Obamacare exchange is not what we were promised. In fact, it has no real benefit or advantage over the disastrous federal Obamacare exchange and provides fewer options at far higher costs. Not only is our state exchange not working, but it is failing financially, and it will never get better. By any account, Nevada's Obamacare exchange is a failure, and we must make it unconstitutional. Don't believe the false hype. Get the real story at undoobamacare.com and find out how you can become part of the solution.
If you like the coverage you have, you can keep it.
It's time for some truth. Nevada's Obamacare exchange has brought the highest increase in premiums in the country, yet it has only a third of the healthcare choices offered by the federal exchange. It's no surprise that enrollment in Nevada's exchange is a fraction of what was projected and needed. No wonder Harry Reid doesn't want his own staff on Nevada's exchange. By any account, Nevada's Obamacare exchange is a failure, and we must make it unconstitutional. Get the real story at undoobamacare.com and find out how you can become part of the solution.
Paid for by Our Voice Nevada PAC, not affiliated with any candidate or candidates committee.
Hey, this is Rabbi Yitzwine of Young Israel Aish of Las Vegas. Please join me on The Rabbi Show every Sunday morning as we explore how you can expand joy and gratitude in your life to make every day a more fulfilling experience. Sunday mornings at 9 on News Talk 720 KDWN.
Hi, this is Michael Mack, owner of world-famous Max Pawn in Las Vegas. You ever wondered what those valuables are worth? Had a pawn question but didn't know who to ask? I have the solution for you. Join me and Dave Carney every Friday from 2 to 3 for Pawn Talk Live here on News Radio 720 KDWN.
Now back to Pawn Talk Live with your hosts Michael Mack and Dave Carney.
And welcome back to Pawn Talk Live here on News Talk 720 KDWN. I'm Dave Carney, joined by the owner of the world-famous Max Pawn, Mr. Michael Mack, fourth-generation pawnbroker. Michael, does it ever astonish you when you hear that, fourth-generation pawnbroker? Because, really a lot of the generations are still alive and well. I see your mom just about every weekend down at the store. I've seen your dad come in there. He hit you with Colonel Tom Parker's cane once or twice just for good measure. Your brother, obviously, who used to own with you, Super America. I mean, does it ever surprise you, though, how long your family's been doing the pawn business?
Well, it makes me think about it when, as my children are getting older, and they'll be fifth generation if they enter the business, and then their children will be sixth generation.
Right.
So, yeah, it's great. And, we've been talking pawn. I've had since I had the little pawn spoon in my mouth being fed Gerber baby food.
This was a borrowed item. Somebody didn't come back and pick it up. Here you go.
That's in loan. Don't get too comfortable because that might have to go back.
So you might have been born with a silver spoon in your mouth, but it wasn't your silver spoon.
It was borrowed.
That's right. Well, it's always funny to hear, the thoughts about that, because when you talk multi-generational businesses, I mean, the evolution of this will be determined about, your children's, your brother's children's children, things like that. Do you see a future in it for the rest of the Mack family, or does the line kind of stop here?
Well, Dave, as a kid, my parents promoted us to go to college and get an education and to go outside of the pawn business, and that was their, aspirations, because maybe they didn't believe back then that was the
next thing.
That wasn't it. That wasn't where they wanted their children. They didn't have the fortunateness of to be able to go to college. So they wanted us to go and become doctors and attorneys and lawyers and CPAs, being professional. And maybe they didn't believe our business was as professional. But today, I believe it's looked at in a professional manner, and we are the banker. We're looked at by Wall Street with public companies being funded and venture capital companies looking at the pawn business. So I'm quite proud. I tell my children, I'd love for you to be in the business, but you must go and get an education, because as I did, we brought our education back and we took this pawn to a whole new level. And I hope that, my children, and I promote them not only getting their, their BS in business or, getting their undergraduate degree, but go ahead and get your master's. If we can afford it, let's do it. Because if you guys think about what we did, and my brother and I, with what we did with Super Pawn and what Max Pawn has done today, I can only imagine with the technology and the future of these children and international business, they could take it to a whole new level.
Yeah, well, it's a really great thing between you and your brother Steven. You guys have a great family bench, so to speak. The roster is fairly deep. I mean, from your niece, who is a really well versed attorney, and all the things that Bravo Store Systems is doing, not only to help the pawn business, but buy and sells, and really coming soon retail stores all across the nation. I think you guys are in a fairly safe area for that side of the family. And right now, guys, we want to do something not safe. We're going to give away the bank. We're going to give away our Subway gift card, and that is going to be to the next caller here, Michael, at 257-5396, 257 KDWN. And Michael, tell us about the gift card. How much do they get? This is like a full lunch gift card, isn't it?
Absolutely. This is a $10 gift card. And what I'll do, Dave, I'll give the $10 gift card and the treasure chest giveaway.
Wow.
So you're going to get both. And, it's a rainy day. It's no better day to go down to Max Pawn, do some shopping, and, of course, you little jump start with some gifts from our friends at Beasley Broadcast and Subway.
Well, and, the great thing about both of those is that, you get to drive in your car on a day when it's not blistering hot, go down to a very centrally located part of the valley, Sahara and Jones, and pick up, like you said, free gifts from Beasley Broadcasting, which include a whole bunch of wonderful CDs, DVD prize packages, as well as the stuff from Max Pawn. So very good stuff. And I can see the phone calls coming in here, so I'm going to let them filter through for a second, and then we will pick our winner. Again, the number 257-5396, 257 KDWN. Now, Michael, talking, a little bit about some other news and notes from around the week. I want to ask your opinion on the story that has been obviously catching fire out of Arizona. The Religious Freedom Bill was vetoed by Governor Jan Brewer, thankfully, for the folks of Arizona. The Religious Freedom Bill basically stated that if I was a business owner, I could deny you service if I thought you were gay or lesbian. As a business owner, isn't that the complete antithesis of what good business practice would be? I mean, if you were a pawnbroker in Arizona, what would you have been thinking?
I would be furious. I mean, I'm furious as a neighboring state. It wasn't just one person. It was the full body.
Yes.
The Assembly and the Senate of Arizona, passed this bill. And, this is third world stuff. I mean, I really believe, we have to be aware, and we have to educate our children. I'm a child of the Holocaust, Dave, as you know, and we have to continually educate that things like what's happened in the past can come back and haunt us again, and they are haunting us. And there's things going on around this globe that, that hatred and bigotism and it has to end, but we have to continue to educate, and we can't forget.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And you speak about, education. The education on this bill seemed to come from most of the business owners. And really the Chamber of Commerce, which is known to be a fairly conservative organization throughout the United States, was vehemently opposed to this measure, as well as a number of other organizations. Now, Michael, the one that probably did the biggest damage in getting this bill vetoed, the National Football League had been planning the Super Bowl at the University of Phoenix Stadium next year. and they began the process of relocating the Super Bowl. Well, surprise, surprise, that didn't get vetoed very fast.
Well, obviously, $250 million goes into the state of Arizona from the Super Bowl.
For a weekend.
So I would say that was Governor Brewer's first thought on her mind, and it was a wise move. And you know what? This silly Arizona politics. I hate to talk politics on a pawn show, but the serious, silliness needs to go.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned our neighbor to the south, Arizona. I mean, get right. I can't say anything else. Get right. All right, we've got Adrian. Adrian, you are our first caller, winner of the big package. That is a $10 Subway gift card, as well as a prize from Beasley Broadcasting and MaxPon out of the treasure chest. Thanks so much for calling. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much. This is so exciting.
Well, have you ever won anything on the radio station before?
No, I haven't.
Excellent. Well, that means that you are eligible to win today. So all you have to do, Adrian, is go on down to MaxPon. They're located at the corner of Sahara and Jones. If you've ever been driving around town, you remember the Madman Army Supply Store. They're in that old building. They will take you to the treasure chest, in which you can select a prize of your choice along with that Subway gift card.
All righty, that sounds great.
All right.
Let me ask you, Adrian, have you been to MaxPon before?
I haven't. So this will be exciting for me to be able to go in there and check it out, see what you guys are talking about.
Well, great. We're looking forward to meeting you.
Excellent. Well, I thank you very much for calling, Adrian. Congratulations. And to all the other callers, if you're still on the line, Alan was the second caller. Paul was the fourth caller. Jay, the fifth caller. You all get prizes in the MaxPon treasure chest. All you have to do is get down there, 6040 West Sahara, and get your prize. Michael, this has been a great show. I want to thank everybody so much for the phone calls, especially Ashley from True TV's Hardcore Pawn in Detroit. You got a chance to, sit with the family, work their shop, work their counter. It's great to see generational pawnbrokers coming together, making a difference in people's lives.
Well, we're going to have Seth back here at the end of March, beginning of April for a big event, and we'll talk about that next week.
It's going to be fantastic. All right, you guys have a great weekend. Drive safely out there in the valley. I will see you all later on tonight at the Orleans for the Wranglers game against the Idaho Steelheads. For Michael, for Al, for Michael Schulman, and the rest of our group, we'll see you guys next week.
Have a great weekend, everyone.
Luxury shops in Las Vegas aren't new. What is new, however, is luxury meeting value. At the world-famous MaxPon, we specialize in marrying the two. With some of the finest selections of watches, designer handbags, sunglasses, and more, the luxury never stops. Every day, new items are added in-store and online. From Gucci and Chanel to Hermes and Louis Vuitton, MaxPon delivers all the top luxury brands at a fraction of the price. Visit us online at MaxPonLV.com or browse our showroom in Las Vegas. The world-famous MaxPon, where luxury meets value.
Because of radio, and I can't see you because I'm totally blind. My blindness doesn't hold me back, but I fight to stay awake during the day because I'm not sleeping through the night. Often I struggle to concentrate and just keep up. Sound familiar? You're not alone. But this is not a sleep disorder. It's actually 924. Learn about the link between total blindness and your symptoms. Visit learnmore924.com or call 855-856-2424.
Wounded soldiers will be participating in the Mint 400 on March 15th. Please help support the RFTW race team for this event and help them recruit wounded racers. Locals can also meet and greet the team at Nellis Air Force Base on March 13th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Like them on Facebook, and please